Final Fantasy games have always been perceived as the pinnacle of JRPG excellence, with extravagant storylines in fantastic worlds inhabited by wondrous creatures. So, introducing Final Fantasy XIII, the series' first entry on the next-gen consoles, a game which will harness all the hardware's capability, and it will evolve the series into something that gamers will be talking about for years to come.
Wrong! The only reason that people will mention Final Fantasy XIII in years to come is as a benchmark of a game with absolutely zero ambition. Seriously, if this game was an occupation, it would be the fast food retard who happily cleans up the shit in the toilets because he isn't adventurous enough to try for a job making fries.
First of all, we need to understand where Final Fantasy XIII is coming from, and you can't do that without looking at Final Fantasy VII. Now, this game appeared from nowhere back in 1997 and blew the entire PlayStation community on its ass so hard that even today, 13 years later, people are still playing the game and pining for a HD remake. Its influence reached across all types of gamers, from Japan-obsessed emo boys to burly bricklayers.
Now, a classic example of this is my own brother, who, as you can see from this picture of him, dwarfing UFC veterans Michael Bisping and Dan Hardy, is built like an absolute brick shithouse. But after just a few hours on Final Fantasy VII, he was jabbering like some sort of LSD crazed lunatic about Sephiroth and Materia and saving the live stream. It's Final Fantasy VII, it just crossed boundaries to all gamers and touched everybody who played it.
Now, the reason that Final Fantasy VII resonates with so many gamers is that it was a boiling pot of innovation and imagination. The story was great with its mysterious hero and his awe-inspiring nemesis. The gameplay backed it up with its break into 3D graphics, huge world map and dozens of mini-games and diversions.
Skip forward to 2010 and this is me just after one day with Final Fantasy XIII. I mean, seriously, what the fuck has happened? Okay, so let's break this down a bit. I mean, you can't really dispute that Final Fantasy XIII is a good looking game. But I mean, what the fuck am I actually looking at? I mean, this isn't some kind of graphics resolution. It's just a series of flat linear walkways with zero interaction with the environment, no real-time physics or lighting. So what seriously am I supposed to be getting excited about? I mean, I can probably hear all the Final Fantasy fanboys sort of crying going, just look at the crystal lake, it's so beautiful, my soul aches. Shut up, you big shower of shit!
Now, if you want to see impressive graphics in a level, then fire up Uncharted 2 and watch that helicopter gunship rip the shit out of the floor you were just standing on, or try running across the beachhead in the opening moments of Killzone 2. I mean, sure, superficially Final Fantasy XIII looks nice, but it's nothing to have a song or dance about.
Especially when the camera gets in close to any of the characters and exposes their blocky sausage fingers. Gameplay-wise, Square Enix directors must have decided that if innovation made Final Fantasy VII great, then perhaps a complete lack of it would do the same for Final Fantasy XIII. And unfortunately, those same directors are absolute fucking retards. And as a result, Final Fantasy XIII's gameplay can be described as something between slightly fucking tedious and completely repetitive.
To elaborate on this, here we can see some footage of me playing the game around the 22-hour mark, engaging a battle with 6 enemies. And here we can see my controller inputs in order to get through the battle. Now let's watch.
Of course, the other thing that the Final Fantasy fanboys are getting the knickers in a twist about is the game's ability to paradigm shift, which adds a whole new level of depth and strategy to the combat. Are you fucking kidding me? Just look at some of the innovations in combating the RPG games in the last few years. Things like the depth and awesomeness of the real-time combat in Demon's Souls, or the evolution of turn-based gaming in things like Valkyria Chronicles. And after all that, you're telling me I should get excited about the ability to swap roles mid-fight? Big fucking deal.
Another benchmark of Final Fantasy has always been the strength of its characters, such as Cloud, Squall and Tidus. Again, this flies out of the window in unlucky 13, and we are left with this collection of douchebags.
Lightning! An elite soldier in hot pants? Get the fuck out of here. Snow!
Cliched macho dickhead.
Alright, I'm a hero!
No, you're a fucking prat, mate.
Vanille!
A one-dimensional, air-headed bitch.
Hope! Hopeless, whining, plebby, emo cunt. Kill Snow? I bet you couldn't even break wind. Fang!
Clearly some kind of man-hating bulldyke.
Zaz! Okay, now Zaz is actually one of the better characters in the game, and that's because he isn't overly moody, and the emotions that he does show tend to be more realistic based on the situation that the characters have found themselves in. Now unfortunately, this great foundation for a character is let down by the fact that he's got a chocobo living in his hair. Yes, seriously. Now maybe it's just me and where I come from, but if I found another organism living on part of my body, I wouldn't try and save the planet. You get yourself down to the STD clinic pronto.
Alright, now let me just make one thing clear. We aren't insane Final Fantasy haters. Far from it. The idea of a HD Final Fantasy was one of the reasons I actually fought out for the PS3 in the expensive early days. So it's with great disappointment that this is our closing comment.
Square Enix, pull your fucking finger out. Your game is dull, its backdrops are pretty to look at but otherwise it's visually unimpressive, your voice acting's terrible, your script is a pure cliche. I mean, Square has stated that it would be impossible to make a HD game with towns and a more open environment, but yet games like Fallout 3 and Mass Effect are exposing your comments as ridiculous and making you look like lazy developers.
There is a chance for redemption in Versus 13. Let's hope they don't fuck it up again.